Hi there, welcome to the LogCycle product overview video. We're going to first start with user roles and defining what they are. So the three user roles are volunteer/student, supervisor, and admin. So volunteer and admin are the only ones that have direct access to the app and can actually use the app. The supervisor is a third party that can only see the logs that are submitted to them, so they have no direct access to the app. So the first user role is volunteer/student. So they can do anything related to logging their hours, such as creating a log, editing, and deleting their logs. They don't have too much permission to do anything else. The second user role is supervisor, and like I said earlier, they don't have direct access to the app, so they're not actually a user of the app, but they can see the log that is sent to them via email. The admin is the teacher, counselor, club leader, organization head, basically an administrator that can manage volunteers, students, logs, groups. Basically, they have permission to access anything within the app. Next up, we'll look at this typical journey of how a volunteer logs their hours all the way through admin approval. So basically, we start with the volunteer/student writing a log. So we'll show you more later, but basically they write the log, the supervisor verifies or denies, and also the supervisor is optional, so this part can be skipped, and then the admin approves or denies. So basically the admin has final say of the decision of approving or denying a log. They can use the supervisor verification or denial to aid in their decision to approve or deny, but they don't have to take that into account, and they can approve even if the supervisor denied the verification. And then after that, the student can read any feedback that the supervisor or admin gives on each individual log. So let's get into the app. So here we are at the login screen for LogCycle. If you or your organization works with Google Workspace, then you can sign in with Google here. Otherwise, you can input the email and password provided by your organization. So for now, we're just going to use our demo email and password. So the first thing you'll see is this dashboard, and up top you'll see a quick overview of some stats. So you'll see total approved hours, total pending hours, and pending approvals based on the logs of the groups that you are a part of. Underneath that, you'll see the logs list. This is just a quick overview. You could also select view all to view all the logs. But for now, in this dashboard, you could just see the most recent 6 logs. Underneath that, you'll see the groups that you're a part of. And also you can select view all to see more. So what we're going to do here is to create a log. So admins typically don't create logs. The volunteers will create logs and you will simply approve or deny. But for the purposes of this demo, we're just going to show you how this works. So here, the volunteer will see their name, the duration. So let's just say 2 hours they volunteered, and select the groups that are a part of this log. So we're just going to select one group, Beta Club, for example. And then here's a category section. So for this, we have pre-set up an example for schools. So participation hours or service hours. So let's just say these were service hours because they were volunteer hours. So the volunteer will also select the date that they worked, the title, and then a description here. So these are required, and underneath that, the supervisor section. So like I said earlier about the supervisor section, this is optional, so they could also just turn it off and not require third-party verification. But if they do require third-party verification, you could input their name and their email. The supervisor phone number is optional, but the email is the most important part because it will send the supervisor a link that they can click to verify or deny the hours worked. So let me show you how logs work. So in this dashboard here, you'll see the date, the volunteer name, the groups, and the title of what they did. And then you can see the statuses here. So Here on the left hand side is the supervisor verification section, and here on the right hand side is the admin review section. So for example, this one, the supervisor verified the hours worked, and then the admin approved. And then this one, the supervisor review was not required, so that checkbox from earlier was not checked, and the admin review is pending, so I can approve this here now. So if you wanted to quick approve, you can just look at the pending ones here, and you see this check mark that you could just quick approve, and you could just click here and done for you right here. But if you wanted to check out more details, you could click inside the log and you could see more info here. So for example, supervisor verification, not needed, and it's pending the admin review. So here you could also quick approve, but just for the purposes of this demo, I could show you this section, which is approve with comment and deny with comment. So this leads you to the same thing. So approve will be pre-selected here, and deny will be pre-selected if you selected the deny with comment option. So here you'll see the duration is 3 hours. So you could change this as well if they inputted the wrong information, but you could leave it as well. You could also leave a comment and then submit the approval status. So what that will do is you'll see that approval check here for any logs that are approved. Just to finish up the log section, let's go into the logs screen right here. So here you could see all of the logs rather than the most recent 6. As you can see, we only have a few more, but you'll be able to see all the logs here. And you can also filter by group and category, verification status for the supervisor, or approval status by the admin. So you could filter any which way you want, and you could also quick approve here. You could select more options to do more things. All right, now that we're finished with logs, we're gonna go down and get into groups. So essentially, the first group that you'll see here will be your organization default group. So this one is just for any general or miscellaneous tasks that don't fit into any other group. But for now, we're just gonna select Beta Club here. So here up top, you'll see something similar to the dashboard: total approved hours, total pending hours, and pending approvals. But this time it's filtered to the group of Beta Club. You'll see the description also and a location, both of which are optional. Underneath that, you'll see the log section, which is similar to the dashboard, but also filtered by just the group that you are in currently. And as you can see, all the options here are the same. Underneath that, you'll see the admins and volunteers section. So here you'll be able to see the admins that are part of the group and the volunteers that are part of the group. And you'll be able to manage them here as well. So you can deselect and select them to remove and add them to the group. And just FYI, you will most likely have way more users here, especially in the volunteer section, but like I said earlier, for our demo, we just have one of each. Here, if you wanted to edit a group, you could go up top here. So you could edit the name, the description, the location, and also the users. So this is the same thing as earlier, so you could uncheck and check to add or remove. And you could also bulk add volunteers and admins as well. So if you had a list, you can paste that list of emails and just have a line break in between or a comma in between. So this is just a much easier and quicker way to add users to groups. So to finish up the group section, we're just going to click on the groups tab here. And as you can see all of the groups that you are a part of. You could also uncheck this here to show all of the groups. But as you can see, I'm already part of all of the groups. But if there were more groups, you would be able to see them here. Now that we've gone over logs and groups, we'll go over here to the users tab. So here you can see all the users of your organization. You could also filter by groups here. And you could also filter by role. So for example, one admin and 1 volunteer. You could also create a user if necessary. So their name and email is required. The grade level section could be a custom section for organizations that are not schools. So for example, you could simply just put the position of their role in your organization or anything like that. You could also select what groups they are a part of, or you could come back to that later. And you could select their role, admin or volunteer. Let's move on to the analytics tab right here. So here you'll be able to see the volunteer and students and basically their stats. So here you'll be able to see their rank, their name, email, grade level, or custom field, as I mentioned earlier, their approved hours and approved logs. You could also filter by minimum hours. So if I did 12, for example, you wouldn't see that volunteer here. Let's clear that. You could also select the grade level or custom field from earlier, and the category of participation hours and service hours. Also, of course, you could filter by groups. So for example, if you take out everything other than Beta Club, you'll see that they did 3 approved hours in Beta Club. And that is pretty much it for the product overview video for LogCycle. If you have any questions, we do have an FAQ on our website. And if there are any pressing questions that are not on the FAQ, let your organization know and they could email us directly and we'll be able to help solve your issue. Thank you.